Hare Krishna, everyone, my dear students. So my obeisances, everyone. Panchakalpa tarubhyascha, kripa sindhubhya evacha, patitanang pavanebhyo, vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And our crying out to Srila Prabhupada for his blessings, mercy, and presence. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Picharni Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskacha Deshitarne Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshur Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai. It's great to be with everyone. And welcome back to our dear Francia. She's become quite a lady of the sea.
I love it.
Yeah, it's very nice. Well, let's start with to see if anyone has any, before we get to the few questions that I was sent, any epiphanies or any realizations that anyone has had since we last met. Anything at all. I actually had in our Bhagavatam class this morning, which was given by my original mentor, Aviram, he was speaking, but he really wanted others to speak in addition. And I was kind of praying to Krishna to give me something of value to say. And then it popped into me. It was also inspired by a class that I gave recently. Actually, that class got recorded, the Bhagavatam, the last Bhagavatam class that we had, because I had to be the host of that. Ramananda, who normally is the host, wasn't able to host it, so I hosted it and recorded it, and it came into my computer. An interesting class you might want to hear. It's all about Lord Brahma and how amazingly brilliant he is and what he did. But one of the things that came to my mind that I spoke about, which I keep thinking about a lot, is that, so we all know that Lord Brahma was the secondary creator of our universe. And basically what happened was Krishna provided all the basic ingredients. So nothing, there isn't, things don't come from nothing. So Krishna provided the Mahatattva, which is the undifferentiated, it's like the potential. And he added the three modes of nature, and Krishna also provided what he calls his 8 separated energies. In the Gita, Krishna says, Bhumir apanalavayakam manu buddhar evacha ahankareti anme bina kraktati ashtida. That means that Krishna created earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. And then he empowered Lord Brahma with brilliance that we can't even conceive of to do what he had to do. one of the things that I thought a lot about, that I remember back from school, is a single cell of our body. One cell, one single cell of our body has, at every moment, there's millions of things taking place, going on. Millions. In one moment, there's millions of different things happening. And they're all, so this whole thing was put together by Lord Brahma. That's just a cell. He created all the atoms and the entire universe. And he had 4 heads, because we've all heard the expression. How many people heard the expression? Maybe, I guess we have our Nepalis. Nepali devotees may not have heard this. But in America we say, 2 heads are better than 1. Did you ever hear that? In Nepal, that statement, 2 heads are better than 1.
Why, Gurudev?
Because, well, 2 heads are really better than 2. Because, let's say, you and I, Pabanlochan, we're together, and I'm thinking of something, and then I bounce it off of you, and then you expand it further, what I just said. And then I kind of bounce back with something even bigger. And this happens when we get together with people. We become, I guess what they call, and you probably never heard this either, a think tank. A think tank is when you get a bunch of people together and you're trying to come up with something. And by it bouncing back and forth between the various people, it just like, if you took the individuals, what they came up with, and you wrote it down, it's never going to be as much as everyone together. If you added it up, it's not going to be as much as if you brought the people together and they were bouncing things off of each other. And it kept getting greater and greater. Am I making this point? Is this understandable?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that can, just had another thought on that. In the material world, that can also make things worse. When you get a couple of evil people together, bad people, you know, they can like, whoa. But get some politicians together, ill motives. You know, together they'll like it kind of like explodes. It gets more. We also use that example. Same is the importance of us being together. Prabhupada gave us the example why it's important that devotees stick together. We don't isolate ourselves from other devotees, because we'll fall down. And he gives the example, if you take a stick, say a small stick, anybody can break a small stick. Everybody know what chopsticks are? So suppose you have a chopstick. Can you break a chopstick? Easily. But suppose I bundled 20 of them together, or 50 of them together, and handed them, I put a rubber band around them. Could you break that?
No.
No. But you could break each one individually. So, how's this said? Maybe somebody can help me out here. That
It's with Ramananda Prabhu's
sum
class.
of the total is greater than the sum of the individuals, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Were you going to say something, Parampara? Who was starting to speak?
Yeah, no, Gurudev, I was saying that you were elaborating on Ramananda Prabhu's class. But
Yeah,
no, Abhiram Prabhu, I think.
Aviram's class. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we take those, we can't break them, and that's so true in our devotional life. In our devotional life, if we don't have each other, this is why I'm very indebted to all of you. We come together, it keeps us strong. But individually, any one of us would fall. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we read about, now my mind's starting to just go all over the place in a wonderful way. When King Bharata, he was king of the world, great king, great king. And when he was young, relatively young, I don't know I've never read the fine details, but when he was young and he had the whole kingdom and he was beautiful and he had a wife, he had children, he had incredible wealth, but when he felt it was time for him to go off to the forest and fully surrender himself to Krishna, he walked away from everything. The exact Sanskrit is Yodushita Darasutam Suhridrajan Hridi Sprishaha Chahao Yuvaiva Malavat Utamashloka Lalasaha. Yeah, Yodushajan Darasutan. That means those things that are very, very difficult to give up. We all have things that are difficult to give up, trying to let go of. Yodushajan Darasutan. Darasutan means his family, Dada Sutan, his wife, his children, etc. He had wonderful, wonderful family. Very difficult to give that up. And because these things tie up the heart, they get they just the heart is tied. Jahal means that he walked away from it. He gave it all up. He conquered over it. He left it all. Jahal Yuvaiva. In his youth, he was very young. Jahal Yuvaiva Malavat. That means he left it just like stool. Like you pass and then you flush it or you go away quickly. He left it all. And how is that possible? The last line. Uttamashloka lalasaha, because he was he found great satisfaction just hearing and chanting about Krishna. Everything else was very, very secondary. So he went off to the forest. Now, my point was when he went to the forest alone, he started worshiping. He made a little deity. He started worshiping his deity. I forgot what kind of deity he had. Malati, you remember? Some sort of deity he had that he was worshiping in the forest alone. And he was becoming more and more advanced. And he was very attached to serving this deity. And love was starting to awaken in his heart, real love. And his eyes were just pouring with tears, like rivers coming out of his eyes. But then he saw, I think you all know the story, he noticed that there was I guess it's called a foal, a female deer that was pregnant, and she was being chased by a tiger. And to get away from the tiger, she jumped across this river to the other side. But somehow in the process, she died and she aborted her little calf. Not calf, you'd call it, calf is a cow. But anyway, her little baby deer. And so he started taking care of it. And he forgot all about taking care of his deity. He became so attached to this deer. Basically, he fell down, being alone. No association. And at the time of when he finally left his body, he was just thinking about this deer. He couldn't stop thinking about the little baby deer. Because the deer disappeared, the little baby disappeared. He thought, well, how's he going to live? He needs me to take care of him. How's this going to be possible? And the great acharyas in our line, the great spiritual masters, have concluded that he fell because he did not have association. There was no devotees in his life. And even though he was so advanced, he ended up falling. many examples like that. I forgot where I was going with all this. Anyway, I know I was talking about Lord Brahma and his incredible brilliance in his 4 heads. So there are some Brahmas that have, many 8 heads, 16 heads, 32 heads. Some Lord Brahmas have 1,000,000 heads. Some have millions of heads. We can't imagine their brilliance. It's just like if a little ant went by. There's no way an ant, we're so much more intelligent than an ant, right? Theoretically, we don't really know what's in their head, but they're conscious, but, they're just doing their little duty. But they could never, come up with artificial intelligence or they can't. Their mental process is just really, really tiny. And so when we compare ourselves to these Lord Brahmas with millions of heads that are bouncing off of each head, it's inconceivable, because our universe is a relatively small universe. It's inconceivably big to us. We can't imagine how big our universe is. But there's universes that are many. I think Aviram said in the class, didn't he, that our universe is like a grain of sand compared to the other universes. But the real is that what I came up with, I know Aviram liked, was that even though Lord Brahmas are so brilliant, if they don't take to the process of Krishna consciousness, they have all this material knowledge, but all that does is just lock them up. And real intelligence is turning to Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about the 4 kinds of men who don't surrender. Avajananti ma mudha manusyam tanamashrita arto jigyasa artarti. No, those are the people that do surrender. Namang duskritina mudha prapadyante naradama maya pritagyanam asuram bhavamashrita. Krishna is saying that talking about the 4 kinds of people that don't surrender, and one of which are those that have so much mundane intelligence, it's just all blocked up, and they can't get to the most simple thing. So if Lord Brahma doesn't turn with all of his brilliance to ask the question, who am I really? Where did I come from? Then all of his intelligence is wasted. So that we should be using our intelligence to conclude what is the purpose of life and how I can turn back to Krishna. Otherwise, all of intelligence is wasted. We have so many scientists in this world, really, really smart people. And all they're doing with their intelligence is polluting everything. They're practically destroying the planet. It wasn't until the Industrial Revolution, which was just relatively recently, the last 100 years or so, when cars were created, and so on and so forth, airplanes and buildings. There weren't cities. It's hard for us to imagine. There's a time there weren't cities. Prabhupada talks in India about everybody lived in villages. But when the Industrial Revolution came, then people started going to the cities. And anyway, the planet's being destroyed with most intelligent people. Like they're figuring out how to go to Mars, how to go to other planets. But they're so dumb, they don't know that you can't, with these eyes, you can't see what's on those planets. Sure, they can get out of the spaceship and land on some planet, and there's beautiful, amazing palaces and amazing things going on these planets, some of the heavenly planets. But they can't see anything. They don't have the eyes. They don't have the ears. It's wasted intelligence. So we don't want to waste our intelligence. We want to use our intelligence. Really, real intelligence is someone who begins to inquire, what is the purpose of life? That is real intelligence. And you don't have to be an Einstein. Of course, Einstein's like a little ant compared to people on other planets, what to speak of other universes, what to speak of Lord Brahma. Okay, anyway, my epiphany. Anyone else have anything you want to share? So we did have some questions that came in, just a few. Let's start. I believe the first was actually Mother Francia. So let me go to Mother Francia, and she's asking, Mother Francia, you still haven't quite finished the 18th chapter yet?
That's right.
She's been on the 18th chapter for like months, it seems like.
No, but it's so rich and heavy for me that I have to go slow.
It's okay. So the 18th chapter is like it's like a summary of everything. Everything kind of gets reviewed and so on. Okay. Chapter 50, text 58, chapter 28. I wanted to finish chapter 18, but had to stop on text 58 because it describes my dilemma of not being in Krishna consciousness enough to prevent anxiety and stress. The purport says, a person in full Krishna consciousness is not unduly anxious about the duties of existence. He is free from material perplexities, doesn't lose himself in the material whirlpool. I like that description, says Francia. That's when things just don't make us anxious. I know I keep bringing this up. How do you and others keep Krishna consciousness in the forefront during the day and not get overwhelmed and forgetful of Krishna? I'm going to try an affirmation and get back to meditating, but is there something else that can bring Krishna to the forefront? If there's not enough time for this, maybe we can talk about it later. So, Francia, my answer to that is that it's a gradual process. It's already starting to happen. When you put a seed in the ground, let's say you want to grow a mango, you put that seed in the ground, it's going to take quite some time before that mango turns into a tree and bears fruit, right? We have to be patient. But the thing is that we do see it is growing. We can see it. I mean, it doesn't take that long for it to germinate. And we start to see the plant coming up and growing. And that's not a perfect analogy, but it is a gradual process. It's gradual. It's kind of like the rising of the sun. When it's completely dark out, completely pitch dark. Not many people have seen pitch dark, especially if you live in cities. You go outside, even if there's no moon, what they call city lights. And even on Oahu, it's just a little island, but there's city lights. And quite a few times I've sailed over to the island of Molokai, the west end, next island over. And there's just no city, there's no lights, there's nothing. And that's when I've experienced real darkness, where you get up at night and you can't see your hand in front of your face. You can't see anything. It's completely pitch dark. And all you can see is the stars in the sky and so on. But if it's a moonless night, you can see the stars, but you can't see anything else because there's no moon. and it's total darkness. Okay, now let's say the sun's going to rise at 7 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, usually it's about an hour before the sun rises, you can start to see, you can detect light on the horizon. It's not enough to see your hand, but you can kind of look out in a distance and you can see some light coming. Anyone ever experience this? It's called twilight. And there's two types of twilight. There's nautical twilight, which means you're way out in a boat where there's total darkness. And there's, I think it's called civil darkness, where, maybe there's some light. It's not totally pitch dark, but you can see it's just starting to get light out. The nautical twilight appears before civil twilight. So if you're really, really out in the boonies and there's no city lights anywhere near, about an hour before the sun's going to come up, you can start to barely see out on the horizon. And then gradually, it gets lighter and lighter and lighter to where you can start to see things. No color yet. It's just that everything looks gray, but you can see, oh, that must be a building, or that's a tree, or you can start to see. And then gradually it just gets lighter and lighter to where, you can start to see a little bit of color. And then, sooner or later, next thing you know, it's the sun. You can actually see the sun rising on, coming up the sunrise, which is absolutely gorgeous. Aren't sunrises beautiful? Mm-hmm. They can be really gorgeous. So it's like that. Becoming Krishna conscious, it's gradual. And I like the idea. I especially like this analogy because it's light. And we can use that light to signify enlightenment. And the enlightenment of our Krishna consciousness, it's gradual. But we know it's happening. When you can first see that twilight, and you see it's getting even a little brighter, you know the sun's coming up. So it's like that. Don't expect that you're going to be completely detached from your material problems, et cetera, and things aren't going to perplex you. That will continue, but it becomes a whole lot easier gradually. I think you've already experienced it from the conversations that you and I've talked together. You're definitely realizing that the sun's starting to come up. Mm-hmm. And you're realizing more and more that your real ultimate duty isn't just taking care of Michael and your daughters, etc. Krishna's going to ultimately take care of all of them. And it's not the same as it was before. Because you see the sun's coming up. So it's like that. It's a gradual process. It's definitely, because you and I have had very intimate conversations, and you're definitely realizing something. This is real, what you've embarked upon.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know how powerful that picture of your little Krishna is, how it revealed himself to you on the first sight. And
yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I have it when I wake up, when I'm by myself. But it's just that when I get going, doing this and this and this, that's when the whirlwind starts, and I'm feeling it's all up to me, and that's the part I would love to not feel so uptight, that I could just relax and say, yeah, Krishna's in charge. It's all here, and Krishna's moving through me. But it's not there. I'm doing. And I want to get more into being, and to make that shift. I think what you're saying is it's gradual.
It's gradual, and also it's at kind of two ends. It's at two ends, and in the middle is where it's foggy. What happens is you're starting to have the realizations, and then things in your life they turn on, and they kind of knock you over, right? But at the end of the day, you kind of come back to, oh yeah.
Mm.
And I think we all experience that. I do. There's times where I get, oh my God, what am I going to do about this? And I deal with it. But then it comes back later that yeah, this was.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
that's normal. You have a there's times we're all going to become like bewildered and angry and anxious. That's going to happen, but it's not like it used to be.
mhm. Yeah, I lose myself in little stuff. If it's something big, then take a step back and I say, okay, Krishna, what do I do? I mean, that part is okay. It's just that the minutia I get caught up in that I don't need help with, but it's just consuming. And I'm like in a washing machine going over and whoa, wait a minute.
Be,
Yeah. But
be,
anyway, what you've said helps, and I'll try to be more patient and
Yeah, it'll come. It'll come.
yeah.
You've only been doing this now for a short period of time. I mean, in one sense, you have it. You started with Jesus and Christianity, which is a very good start, and especially you had Tirtha Prabhu guiding you, who was incredible, realized Christian.
Yeah.
So you're making progress. You're definitely making progress. That's why I enjoy talking with you. You're a very evolved woman.
Yeah, but I guess my question though was, what else can I do to speed it up besides
Nothing.
effort? Nothing? Is that
Well, I
was
mean, you're already doing what's realistic. I could say, well, start chanting 16 rounds, but that's not going to happen, and that's
no.
okay. Just keep doing what you're comfortable doing, because even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Shanai Shanai Uparamed Buddha Dhriti Grihitaya." Malati, you've been studying the Bhagavad Gita. What does that mean?
I don't know.
You
Don't
know
know,
the
but
verse?
I'm guessing that don't disturb the mind of.
Shanai means gradual. Shanai
Oh,
Shanai
okay, I
Uparamed.
got the wrong one then.
Step by step, like step by step. Shanai Shanai. Krishna says that slowly, step by step, with your
Okay.
mind in control, advance. That's how it's not like you just dive in and you're completely surrendered to Krishna. That's not going to happen.
Mm,
It's a gradual process. Shanai Shanai.
okay.
So and we should take it comfortably. You can't give a patient too much medicine that might kill them. Let's start them out slow.
Mm.
And you're chanting 2 rounds a day now.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And you're reading. You're doing great. You're doing absolutely great.
Oh, thank you. I just I just thought maybe there's something else that if
No, there really isn't. Malati, can you think of anything that you would say else she could do? She's reading. She's associating with devotees. She's
No,
chanting 2 rounds a day.
yeah,
I'm
meditating.
thrilled,
yeah.
and I see the change in her since I've met her. Yeah, so that's from Malati and I. That's our answer. Just um, uh, step by step, you're doing great.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Have you completely given up meat?
Well, I've cut way down. I've cut way down, but I'll have something every once in a while. Yeah, just
So
I feel like my
it's,
body needs some more protein.
yeah, that's one thing that could be helpful also is the diet. The more you could cut back on
Yeah, I've been eating beans.
beans are good. Free holidays. But there's a lot of great food out there that
Yeah.
vegetarian maybe. But anyway, you're doing fine. You're progressing tremendously, and I can sense it. We can all feel it.
Yes. Yeah.
Like the mango tree is growing. Just give it some time. There's nothing you can do. Yeah, like if somebody came to me and they said there's something wrong with I planted a mango tree, but it's not making mangoes yet. And I come over and I look at their plant and it looks it looks beautiful, but it's little. Well, what can I do to speed it up? Nothing. If you try to put on too much fertilizer, you're going to burn it.
Mm.
too much water, you're going to overwater it.
Mhm.
It just needs time. And that's what you're doing. You're doing great. Okay.
Okay.
Pabalochan had a good question, and that is, what is the difference between, oh, we lost, oh, there she is, Malati. Her question was, what is the difference between karma, akarma, and vikarma? Now, Malati's become quite a Bhagavad Gita teacher. She gives amazing classes. She really does. They're beautiful classes. Malati, would you answer that question?
Okay, it's karma, akarma, and vikarma.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm thinking, Gurudev, please correct me and add. Karma is the reactions we get from the activities that we perform, past activities, present activities. The akarma is where you follow. Karma is when we do whether it's pious activities, good activities, or bad. We're going to get a reaction for every activity we do. But akarma means we follow the activities that we don't have reactions, especially when it's spiritually inclined. If we are doing everything, we're following scriptural injunctions, and we're doing everything for Krishna, then without being attached to the result, then we are not going to get any reaction to it. That is, for me, I'm thinking that's akarma. And vikarma is which we do not follow the scriptures at all. It's the abominable activities that we do, and we'll get serious reactions. Is that correct?
That's good. Yeah, it's perfect. Perfect.
What's the B karma again, Mataji?
You've muted yourself.
Is the abominable activities that people don't follow scriptures at all. Because in karma, even if people follow pious activities to the demigods, but yet we take the reactions are good, we go to if their intention is to go to the spiritual world, but after the punya is gone, we have to come back to the material world and suffer. But in vikarma, they don't follow any scriptural injunctions at all. They do what they want. So this is the people like Gurudev was saying, that the dushkritinas, right? Because they are the miscreants who follow, their mind has been overtaken by illusion. They are atheistic people who don't believe in God. They feel that there's no God, only their own strength. So these are the vikarmas. They don't follow anything at all. So they get very serious reactions where if they are, like in 8,400,000 species of life, they're very ignorant. So there is not in human life, but in the lower species of life, they get those kind of reactions. I think so, right?
Yeah, that's perfect. Parampara, is there anything you would want to add?
No, Gurudev, I think Mataji explained everything.
Okay, yeah, so I'm just going to re-explain exactly what Malati said. Yeah, the akarma, vikarma, and karma. So karma, okay, people in the world who know the word karma. Karma is now a word you ask. Practically every educated person knows what karma is. And if you ask them what is the meaning of karma, they're not going to get it exactly right, but they've got it. They have a reasonable understanding, but not the complete understanding. So when I ask people, when I go to colleges and I'll ask the students, how many people believe in karma? Practically everybody's hand goes up. I think everybody's hand goes up. Pretty much any, karma is a word now that everybody seems to use and know this word, karma. And if you ask people, they'll say, what goes around comes around. In other words, there's certain things you're going to do are going to have a bad result, and some are going to have a good result. If you do good things will come to you. If you do bad things are going to come to you. But they don't understand that karma isn't just limited to this lifetime. There's things that happened in our previous life that are coming back as karma. They haven't gotten into previous lives and reincarnation. But they got a good start. Karma means whatever you do, you're going to get, you better be ready to accept the results of whatever you do. If it's good, you're going to get a good result. If it's bad, you're going to get a bad result. But they don't understand. Like there was this book that was written by a rabbi, Harold Kushner. He wrote a book. He had a son. His son had a disease called progeria. How many people know what progeria is? Progeria is a disease where you age. You start getting older. By the time you're 16 years old, you're old and wrinkled and ready, and literally ready to die. Your body just something speeds it up, the aging process. By 16, they look like their hair is falling out. They're all wrinkled and hunched over, and usually that's about how long they live. So his son died of progeria. So the rabbi wrote a book called "Why Do Bad Things Happen to Good People?" Because his son was a nice kid, nice person. But why did he get progeria? So the rabbi tried to answer it, but he was so far from the mark. He didn't bring in previous lives. He just, speculate. So, but we understand. We have a real good understanding of karma. Because we see good people where bad things don't happen. I'm sorry, bad people where only good things happen. Right? We see this. People that are just like demons their whole life. And, nothing bad happened to them. They die in their sleep. But we know, because we have a understanding that karma it goes with you to your next life. They're like seeds, and they will fructify. And we can make enough karma in one life to fill up thousands of lives. So it's human, because animals don't generate karma. If a serpent bites a little child and the child dies, the serpent's not responsible. But we would know for the child that was some karma from a previous life that they got bit by the snake. So karma, that's how it's generally understood. The general understanding of karma is that people don't, they've got it right, that good things, you're going to get good reactions and bad reactions. But they can't explain why some innocent, nice child got progeria and died a horrible disease. Therefore, they think, there's no God, it's nothing just. It's unfair. Good kid gets a bad disease and dies, a terrible disease. So karma that's the general understanding. But the understanding where we get it really refined, because I knew about karma before I started reading Prabhupada's books. But then when I met devotees, I really started to understand karma. So technically, as Malati explained, if you follow the Vedas, a lot of the Vedas teach you about karma, about how to have good karma. You have no idea what it's like in heavenly planets. It's so pleasurable there. It's thousands, hundreds of thousands times more enjoyable than the pleasure on this planet. You live a really, really, really long life for thousands and thousands and millions of years. And the standard of enjoyment, the food, the drink, the beverage, the music, the sex. I mean, everything is so much greater on heavenly planets. And the Vedas can teach you how to go there. That's called karma. You follow, you worship Lord Shiva, you worship different demigods, you worship Ganesh. Actually, I don't know who all the demigods they worship, but many, many different demigods, you worship them, and you can go to heavenly planets. You're doing pious things. You're opening hospitals and et cetera, but your goal is to go to heavenly planets. That's karma. Karma means, as Malati said, following the scriptures. You really have to follow the scriptures to follow the path of karma for positive result. And akarma means we're not following the Vedas. We're going to do any darn thing we want. Doesn't matter what it is. That's akarma. Akarma basically means bad karma.
Vikarma, Gurudev?
I'm sorry, Vikarma, thank you. Thank you for stopping me. Thank you for the correction. Correct me anytime. Correcting the guru is okay. Don't let the guru make a fool of himself. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Vikarma. Vikarma means that we are acting against scripture, against the Vedas. What would be, I'm going to ask Rasika Pujari. Rasika Pujari, give me a couple of examples of vikarmic activity.
Eating meat, Gurudev.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you. Eating meat. Eating meat. Excellent answer. Parampara Prabhu, give me an example of vikarma.
Illicit sex.
Illicit sex. Thank you. Yep. You're going out, you're having sex with someone else's wife, etc. That's a vikarma. You may enjoy it. You may, just like the example of Rasika, you may enjoy eating a nice steak, but terrible karma will come. And you may enjoy having sex with someone else's wife, but you're going to suffer for that. It's even in the Bible. Malati, give an example of vikarma. Intoxication, yeah. It's I would say it's not, the karma is going to be bad. It's not going to be as bad as eating meat. It's not going to be as bad as killing a cow, but you will get negative reaction for that. I'd like now. Yes, I was going to ask for you to give us an example, please, Francia.
Yeah, I was just thinking what's happening in Minneapolis where they're just shooting people, just indiscriminately shooting people. Isn't that bad karma?
Definitely. Now, then it gets really complicated, which maybe you don't want to get into today, but who really gets the karma? Is it the soldiers? Maybe not. I don't know. This is getting complex, and because karma is complex, we're never going to fully understand the nuances of karma. I would say the person who really gets it is Trump, the one who's really behind it, is making it all happen. And so,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's going to be the main guy that's going to get the brunt of it. The soldiers, I don't know. I can't say with any real authority. They're following orders. So I think in that particular case, they probably many of them don't like doing it. They don't like doing it. But they're in the army. In the army, you have to do what you're told. Isn't that right, Parampara? You're the army guy.
Yes, Gurudev. You listen to your commanders, and if that brings glory, then that brings commander's name, and if that brings infamy, that is also them, and then they will be relieved of the duty. So our commander-in-chief, that's their instruction. So as a soldier, we follow. We are doing dharma, and what he decides that on him, because we don't have a right to question, because that's how even like Krishna has created, right? Sometimes the demons just want to be the king of the the heaven through their austerities and getting blessings, but somehow immediately Vishnu comes in some form and take them off, because this is not the yajna, this is not the path. You are trying to hijack the path by worshipping Brahma and trying to surpass the devotees of Krishna, that's Indra and Chandras.
Papalochan, give us an example of vikarma. You've heard us give a lot of examples.
Gambling.
I'm sorry?
Gambling.
Gambling, yeah. Gambling is one. That's not going to be terrible karma, but it's, not good. I'll give an example. You don't like somebody, you take a gun and shoot them. Very bad karma. Very, very bad karma. You're going to come back and get shot in one. There's one devotee was telling me about her son, who somebody just came up and shot him. Somebody that didn't like him just came up and shot her son. And, anyway, the karma's going to come. That was some karma that he had that Krishna let go through. He may have gone back to Godhead from there, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Okay, so let's have some examples of vikarma. Malati, an example of vikarma.
Oh, being greedy and envious of others, so you don't want what is, always want ill health for others. Will that take vikarma? Will that be?
It depends. If you're envious, you're not going to get karma. But if you act on that envy,
okay, yeah,
then the karma will come. And Kali, and on other yugas, if you just thought something bad, you got the karma for it. But in Kali Yuga, nobody can control their minds. Thank God, because I'd be building all kinds of bad karma.
Yeah, it's true.
We're not. That's a good thing. And a devotee doesn't want to go to the heavenly planets, because although it's very heavenly, there's the real pleasure, the greatest pleasure for our soul is to be with Krishna. That's the ultimate pleasure. And so the activities where we're serving Krishna, devotional service, it's akarma, which means no karma at all. You're just going to go back and be with Krishna. The results of karma delay being with Krishna. And as Malati said, it runs out. You get a lot of good karma, you go to heavenly planets, enjoy like anything, but then you're going to fall back down again. It's not permanent. It's just temporary. It has an expiration date. Has an expiration, it expires. Just like some people, from a third world country, they may get a visa to come to America and really enjoy themselves for some period of time. But when the visa's over, they can't stay. But we don't want to. And the way I think of it is, if somebody is in jail, if you do really bad things in jail, you can make things even worse. They'll lengthen your sentence. They'll put you in solitary confinement. You can get a really, really bad position in jail. And if you do good things in jail, then you might get to have a nice cell. You've got your own toilet. You have a window to look out. That's like a good karma in jail. We don't want any kind of good karma. We don't want anything to do with this jailhouse of material world. We just want to go back and be with Krishna. Even the heavenly planets, it's like having your own cell. That's how a devotee sees it. We don't want to stay in this material world at all. Good karma is binding, as is bad karma. Any type of karma keeps you in the material world, whether it's good karma or bad karma. Only akarma is when we're not getting any reaction, and that happens in devotional service. Okay, and we have a question from, I think it just came at the last minute. text from. Okay, yeah, Tirtha Prabhu was saying he was really, really busy. He couldn't come. Okay, so let me go to Parampara. Gurudev, you have done so many Bhakti house programs in Hawaii. You always invited us to the house programs for Harikatha, Kirtan, and Prasadam. My question is, what should be the format for a devotional house program at our spiritual level when devotees meet? And what are the responsibilities of the host? Well, I think you've already answered the question, and that is the three things that I always include in a house program is prasadam, and my God, you guys have it locked up because both you and Padmalochan are like super cooks. So, oh, by the way, I made a big soup and I was using the new spices you gave me. Funny, I took the mixture of the coriander and cumin and I labeled it and I put it away. I couldn't find it, and I was looking for I was embarrassed to even tell you. I lost it. I looked and looked and looked and looked and looked. I looked everywhere. Finally, I found it, and so that and the masala I put that in a jar and I labeled it. The other one I put in the freezer, but I put it in a freezer bag, which is what you kind of sent it in. Until I found it, so I just made a soup last night where I used both of the spices, and it has a really nice flavor to it. The grand masala and the mixture of coriander and cumin. It gives it a real nice taste. Okay, so prasadam, that's one. That's really important. Kirtan is really important. And then having a little talk. It could be a Bhagavad Gita reading. Sometimes readings are boring for people. Unless you're some people are really good readers. I am not. Unless you're like you can read like you're telling a story. But I think that you are a very good speaker, Parampara, and I'll give a short class. Don't make it long. I'd make it short, 20 minutes. People, they don't want to listen very long unless you get some really interested people like you and
Nitai, Patakamala.
But then have time for questions. If you can get the questions and answers rolling, then that's a good thing. One trick I did that worked out really well for me was sometimes at the colleges, I noticed that when I get to the Q&A, the students wouldn't ask questions. They didn't know what to ask. So I made up a sheet of 20 good questions that, what is karma, what is reincarnation, and I gave it out. And then everybody, they picked one. And so that's a good way to get questions. Make a sheet, print it out of 20, and you're kind of like you're going to pick questions that you really want, questions you like. That way you don't get these weird questions. Like, why? What's this stuff on your face? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. What's your tilak? Or you can get these off the wall questions, but give a talk and then hand out the sheet, or you give it earlier. Here's some questions we'll speak for a little bit. Maybe read a verse from the Bhagavad Gita and read this. The purport, and then give your understanding of it, and then go to questions and answers, and because any question that you have is great, but here's some of my common questions that people like to know, and give them that, and you'll see they'll start pulling questions out.
Good idea.
But you don't want to make it too long, unless you gotta read your audience. And if there's a bunch of people that they're not that interested in the philosophy yet, then limit it. But and so kirtan, prasadam, and a talk. They're the three. And the most important is be really welcoming, be loving, be there for, be sweet, really welcoming. Welcome them. They really want them to feel with you. They're so happy, so glad they came. We appreciate so much that you've come to share with us. We can share together. It's the personality. What really made me a devotee was Abhirama. Was this, one person who was just charmed me. He was so charming and full of love, and that made me a devotee. And you want to be like that. That you really have people can know if you're like showing off. I'm a big scholar. That's not going to win anybody over. It's that you really care for them, and also it never hurts to pray to Krishna before the event. I went over to my deities before our talk today. I had no idea what I was going to talk about. There weren't many questions, and I went over and asked them. And all of a sudden, questions came in. Your question and Pamalochan's question. It never hurts to ask the deities to help you out a little bit. But you're both very charming. Look what you've done with Ganesham. You've made him a devotee. I mean, he's wonderful. And now his wife, and now I'm meeting with Ganesham and a friend of his from Nepal every week.
Jayendra Prabhuji.
Yeah. Jayendra. You made him a devotee, yeah? More or less. I mean, they love you guys.
Gurudev, you made them devotee, we just hosted them, that's all.
No, you were acting as Diksha Guru, both of you. And you won them over. I mean, if that's all you accomplish in this life, you made them devotees, you're a wealthy man with good, in Krishna's eyes. What to speak of with others. You're a great team. So I've seen the results of your helping people. So you're the perfect, and that's really the perfection of household life. When you can invite people over and invite them into your temple, into your home, and just be friends with them. Don't be too pushy. Just be friends. That's how Abhirama didn't push me at all. He stole my heart. Krishna was acting through him. Prabhupada was acting through him. And that's what you want to do with your home program. That's what Tirtha Prabhu and I did at Unity Church. Look who's here. Asleep. And she just came back from a long voyage at sea. But yeah. That's the ideal program.
Gurudev, question, like follow-up question. What's the difference between encouraging and being pushy?
I think you know. Pushy
I need to hear more, Gurudev.
Being pushy. Pamalochan, you answer that question.
Encouragement means like this like encouraging people, like
Encouraging them with sweetness. Sweetness is all about them. Pushy is all about you. You want to be the controller. You can't. Nobody becomes Krishna conscious when someone's pushy. You can't. You've got to make it so flavorful that they just want to listen. They want to hear. And if you push them, there's a saying: someone convinced against their will is of the same opinion still.
Like that.
Francia, you with us?
Can you say that again? Can you say that again?
Yes. Francia,
Yes.
have you heard have you heard the statement, someone convinced against their will is of the same opinion still?
Never heard it, but I know you mean it. It's right. Yeah.
That's pushy.
Yeah. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it.
Correct. That's a great example. So it's like, you can't take the horse and push it. You can't push the horse's mouth into the water and make him drink. That's pushy.
Mhm.
That's being pushy. So, and we can pray to Krishna to help us. But I could never see the two of you pushy. You're not the pushy type.
But Gurudev, can we, just like the example, can we lead the horse to the water though? Is that allowed?
Definitely, absolutely. Lead them to the water. You can lead them gently. You don't drag the horse around. You very gently walk him by the water. Would you like a drink? And he can drink or not drink.
And
But if
Gurudev,
you hand him a sweet, he's going to eat the sweet. He may not drink, but if you hand the horse something to eat, he's going to eat it, guaranteed. So prasadam is like you can't. And a little kirtan. Most people really like the kirtan. So, yeah. Okay, there's someone I met on the boat on my last trip that is, the boat has just stopped. This is a lady that goes all the time. She's on these cruises. It's stopping in Honolulu for the day. So I promised her I would meet with her and show her around a little bit. And mostly that's why I couldn't come to your class. I promised I would spend. Now I may be back in time, but I kind of doubt it.
It's okay, Gurudev.
Yeah,
Not to worry.
if I'm back by 5 o'clock, I'll come for sure. But I doubt if I'll be back because I don't know when I'm going to be able to meet her. I think the ship just got in. And I'm just going to drive her, pick her and her daughter up and show them around a little bit. Maybe bring them out to my place and show them some parts of the island and then take them back. Okay, well, thank you all so much.
Thank you, Gurudev. Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate it today.
And
there's also tomorrow, anybody who's available to come tomorrow. God, it seems like the Friday class, there's more people than the Saturday classes are like more popular. But no, it's just Tirtha Prabhu was busy and
Bhakti Prabhu, Lakshman Prabhu.
Kalki and Lakshman, they're taking care of the parents, and they said next week they also won't be able to make it. But it's great to be with you. It certainly is the highlight of my day. All right, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.